All right, what is up, everybody? I'm back with Claire Russell Griffiths today, and we're super excited, to have her here on the show. She's a big-time collector. She's a big-time hodler. She's a Facebook moderator, and then she's also friends with Reese. And she's done an interview, and I'm so jealous. So super, super jazzed to have you on the show today. And thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. First time on the tube. So.
Welcome to the tube. This is good, Claire. This is awesome. And, this is the crazy thing. Like, I know you have 172 collectibles. I know you got like 14 or 15 sets. So, man, you're no joke. Like, you're not kidding around with this Veve stuff.
No, I think it's quite addictive. Although I joke about being addicted to Veve, I think I probably am more than I would let on. And to think I've only started in March, once you start getting that one first set, you then kind of spurred on to get more. And then you kind of second guessing what the master collector is going to look like. And so you just hope you're going to qualify for that as well. So there's all these little strategies going on as you're going along. But yeah,
it's so
definitely.
True. It's so true. And it's like so funny because I feel like some people have more money invested in Veve than they do in their own bank.
That's definitely true for me, because it was only today I was looking and joking and tweeted actually that I'm probably me and Veve rich and cash poor, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, exactly. I've got so much I guess potential that I see in Veve that I'm like, you know what? I think this is a better investment than a high risk stock or a mutual fund or an ETF. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a dragon girl. That seems like it's going to be worth it.
Oh, for sure. I'd say my Veve collection, even at retail price, is probably worth more than my crypto now, because I've had to transfer a crypto into maybe a different collectible. So it's just absolutely, I don't know. You just want that next thing, don't you? And
you do.
it's quite funny. Before I went into Veve, I didn't know what Discord was. I didn't know what Telegram was.
Yeah.
I never hardly watched YouTube, and then it's like my whole world's turned around, and here I am sort of back on Twitter after years of doing nothing on it, and it's just bizarre how it takes you on a
it is
journey.
bizarre. Yeah. Like, I'm like, why did I start a YouTube channel? Like, how am I here at this moment? Like, I'm like, this is just because of my love for this thing. It's so interesting. I feel like it's really hit a few of us across the world really hard. It's like a special place, you know what I mean? And I've been in cryptocurrency for 3 years. There's nothing that's jumped out at me like this. Yeah. So Claire, I've got a question for you. Like, Dan came out and he said that, 45% of the users on Veve are female. But one thing that I've noticed is that there's like a lot of male represented content, and there's a lot of assumptions that females like Mermicornos and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, Claire, you've got 172 collectibles. I'm sure you've got some pretty badass ones, and they're obviously I feel like it's pretty stereotypical for people to think that because people are female that they're going to be searching for some collectibles over others. So what's your take on that?
I mean, personally, I was shocked at this 45% female kind of
Same.
users in Veve. And I was expecting under 20%,
Same.
And I don't know if that's because people aren't truthful in when they kind of say who they are or whatever, or is it that the female collectors are just more quiet and not kind of involved in the social side of collecting, that they're just, hoarding quietly or something. Doesn't matter which social platform I look at, it is male dominated. And, there's a little group of us on Twitter even that are questioning, and how can we all get together to sort of raise awareness for females, but it's not as easy on Twitter. But is it that females just are quietly collecting, or is it that there's not as many females, and maybe if they were to relook at the figures it might not be as high? And I'm trying to think, when I registered on the app, was it just a tick box of male, female? And because I remember at one point that there was this big thing about follow for follow. Do you remember on the
I do
feed?
remember that. It was like F for F. Yeah.
Because when they were doing the follow for follow on the feed,
Yeah.
there was a lot of females semi-naked asking for follows
Oh
on
my
the.
God.
I
Yeah.
don't know, and they had a lot of followers, so I don't know if it was a ploy to get
Right.
follows. I don't
True.
know.
Or it was maybe guys signing up as females and then getting the followers and then, yeah.
Yeah, they're stuck with it then, sort of thing. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see if they've got more recent figures on
Hmm.
the statistics.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm super interested as well because there's like a lot of stereotypes that like, younger females are going to want to buy like the Myrmicornos. But I'm like, what if they come in the app and they're like 14 years old and it's like a female and she's like, I want to buy a Rizzo. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of these assumptions that we're making probably based off previous market caps and actual like activities. But I'm just interested, like, from what you see, like, what are you most after? Like, I'm sure you want like rare collectibles, just like everybody else, completing sets. Like,
I mean, I must say the cover girls was something I was really drawn to.
mm, mm,
Starfire and Big Bad. I want the badass female sort
true,
of figures, and maybe that's kind of like I want to be them type of thing, in the back
cool.
of your mind. And the Harlequins, obviously, that is one set. If I could ever afford it, I would definitely go for. But I mean, I do like the unicorns and I do like the
Yeah,
Myrmicanos. And the first sets I completed were the Adventure Time. Now, whether that was because they were lower priced or whether it was that, they were obviously not in our region as well. So you had to find creative ways of buying them. And I was quite lucky because Marshall Bruce was really good at buying them for me, bless him.
right.
So he had quite a following at that time in the app. But yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
probably drawn to the kiddie ones, but I'm finding it difficult to say no to any of the collectibles, because I don't own Rizzo, but I would love to own Rizzo. I'm contemplating buying Amanda Batman, but I'm not drawn to her looks wise as
True.
much.
But that's
I
really
find
cool. So it seems like there's like a natural kind of niche for you to really kind of, in addition to like obviously getting all the collectibles, like you really are interested in like the female kind of collectibles and the female artists and really representing kind of, the female population. So that's interesting, right? Like to know.
Yeah, and I mean, when I saw the cover girls drop, I instantly thought, if there's going to be a drop, that's my drop, And I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so pleased I managed to get that at retail because I don't know what would have happened. It would have been something I would have had to have got. I know that, but I was quite fortunate to be able to get a set.
right.
But I
Cool.
know I will carry that set on and continue to buy that one definitely because it's probably up there as one of my favorites. Definitely so far favorite from season 2.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's probably my favorite from season 1, but I've only got the 2 uncommons. I haven't got the rare and
Well, I
ultra
mean,
rare
the entry
for obvious
price,
reasons.
yeah, exactly. I've got one Terry Dotson, but like, I'm like, man, to spend 7 grand on the Harley Quinn 19, I mean, and that's American too, so that's a lot of money, right? Yeah,
Oh, definitely. I mean, I did consider getting the Teddy, but ended up buying a Robin and a Nightwing instead because they were both around the same price. And I thought,
right.
because I can't complete the Harley Quinn set, although I'm desperate for the Teddy, it kind of puts you off
It
filling that one
does.
gap of an
Right.
achievable sort of thing. But you never know.
Yeah, it's true. You never know, right? But that's interesting that you say that because I feel like a lot of people, that's why I think that Terry Dotson and Professor are not priced as high as I would have presumed because it's really difficult to complete the set because they're ultra rare. And in the PP2 set, even the rare is so expensive. So people are like, well, I don't even know if I want to enter that. because I'd rather have like an ultra rare Dragon Girl because I can actually complete a set.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't got the ultra rare or the rare Dragon Girl. Had I have got the rare, then I'd have probably been motivated to pay over the odds for the ultra rare. So I've kind of taken myself out of that game.
Right.
But I preferred the two coloured ones anyway. But that's probably how I'm consoling myself.
Yeah.
But and I'm trying to think. I ended up buying the ultra rare from the Batman, even though I haven't completed two of the sets, because Rizzo's probably going to be unachievable the longer we go down the line. Because
Yeah.
I keep thinking, well, if Naomi makes money, I might buy Rizzo. But the reality is, I think the prices of the collectibles will go up as Omi goes up because
True.
it's a
I'm
way of
actually
payment.
impressed how much Omi's gone down and how much the collectibles have actually stayed relatively the same. Like that actually was super interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a. I remember when the whole crypto market went down, there was a complete and utter panic. But I
Yes.
think people wanted to sell collectibles to genuinely buy the dip because it was they were putting their items up for USDT. They didn't want any other form of payment. So you
Right.
could argue there's too many crypto people in the space.
Well, that's it. Like we've only really touched on the crypto people so far. And like, how did you find about it? Were you crypto, like you were like heavy in the crypto or?
Well, I've only just started into the crypto space in January, and it was quite funny because my husband started in crypto in, say, November, December, and I was kind of like, oh, what's this now? What are you using your money for? It's all the scam, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. So he said, well, why don't you have a look for yourself? So I did. And then I kind of started to go into it. And then we started to watch YouTubers together. And I
Yeah.
wanted to, when you go and look for the next 1000x kind of
Every
gem.
day. Exactly.
It was just a comment that was made by a YouTuber, MDX, where somebody had put a comment saying, oh, you have to look at Ikomi. Rumor is they'll get Pokemon. So he then just said, well, if they get Pokemon, it's game over. And then there was a small discussion about Alfred Kahn. Now, I didn't even know who this person was I didn't. And then you start doing this kind of research. And then I read the white paper and I bought into Omi. And then more I read the white paper, I thought, do you know what? I better go and have a look what this Veve is all about, considering it's the main part of their business. And then I kind of went in, and my first initial thoughts were, wow, these are really expensive. Wow, there's no way I'm paying 90 gems for a Batman. There's no way I'm doing this. There's no way I'm doing that. And then my parents, they own a business called Grassbusters, and they have done since we were young kids. And they've always kind of manipulated the Grassbusters logo. It was kind of looking a lot like the Ghostbusters one, to be honest with you. So we sort of were drawn to Ghostbusters. So I ended up buying Marshmallow Man. I think it was 27 gems. And then there was like thousands of them left. And I was like, this is really cool after I bought it, and then I bought a couple of the cheap common unicorns because I liked Dulcie because she had pink hair with the little,
Right.
hundreds of thousands in. And it never dawned on me to look at common and common rare. I just literally bought what I liked the look of. And we bought another Ghostbuster then. It was another Marshmallow Man. And there was still thousands of them left. So we were like, oh, this isn't popular at all. Nobody's hardly buying them. And then we just started to accumulate a few. And then I remember somebody offered to sell me a Ghostbuster logo for 100 gems. And I was horrified, looking back. And
Wow.
they said, all right, I'll do you a deal. If you buy two, you can have two Ghostbuster logo and a oh, which one was it? It was, I think it was Lumpy Princess. It was one that I couldn't buy, and I didn't know you could find people that would sell you regional locked ones at the time.
Cool.
So I went, all right, I'll buy them for 200. So that was my first out of kind of VV purchase. So then we ended up having a logo each and a couple more collectibles. And then I started to go on Facebook, and I think that's where I started to realize, oh, there is a bit more to this than meets the eye. The first kind of drop that I participated in was the Nightwing drop, because I didn't even know there were drops before that.
Right. That was like the learning part of it.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand why people were going, oh, there's a drop, because to me there was items for sale in the store.
I see.
So I didn't understand why everybody was so excited. And I just participated because I went with the hype of everybody else. And then
Yeah.
I didn't get Nightwing. Then the rest is history, you know. I upped my game then.
Yeah, it's super what a cool story, because you know, the one thing that I think you and I both, I guess, didn't realize at the time is how lucky we were to have things be in the store for so long. And then now all those things that we bought, I've used as leverage personally to basically upgrade my collection. But I feel bad for like new people coming in because there's nothing in the store. So they can't like buy a Todd, let's say, for 90 gems and then sell it for 350. You know what I mean? So they can only get lucky on the drops. As you and I were sitting on like, you know, hundreds of drops for like a month. You know what I say? Like, so it's like,
But
yeah,
they don't have buyer's regret like we do, though,
that's
because
true.
you know how you know, I could have probably bought the Harlequins at cost if I'd have looked.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
Rizzo was even there. I know Becky was there. I remember
Yeah.
looking at Robin and not buying him because I thought, I'm not paying that much, and paid $800 afterwards, you know. So
Wow. See, I came in on March 9th, so I came in a few days later than you, and the marketplace was shut down. So I didn't even know about a marketplace. And then that's when all of a sudden, like right when I came in, I joined the Telegram group, and then that's when prices were just like going exorbitantly high. Like I think it was like on the 14th, people were selling like Robins for like 600-700 gems. People were buying Rizzos for 2K. And I remember when I saw Rizzo go for 2K, I thought that was crazy. And now it's like minimum 3K gems, you know?
it's just,
Yeah.
I know. But I think it took me seeing people selling the collectibles at a higher price for me
Mm,
to realize, oh, maybe I haven't been that stupid in buying all these things, when
right.
I was more stupid not buying more, you know. So
That's how I thought about it too. And it was only the hype that changed my mind. Like once I went on Telegram or Facebook or like Discord, I was like, whoa, like there's so many people that are like wanting these things, that are desperate about them, you know? So that's really like, once you see that mass adoption, it's a lot easier and you feel way more comfortable being like, oh, let me get another one of these, you know?
And I remember posting like a picture of Marshmallow Man on Twitter next to a lawnmower, and it was a joke saying, oh, he's going out to work to earn me Omi or something like that. And Ecomi commented on it, you know, and it's like, what, Ecomi themselves, you know. And it was like,
Crazy.
wow, it just, I remember it blew my mind, you know. And
Wow.
when we did the clubhouse with Chris and speaking to him, I was genuinely starstruck. It's like, wow, they've got time for little old us, you know.
Yeah. That's how I feel,
It's
man.
just,
Like he's a celebrity, like, you know? I feel like I'm talking to Brad
and
Pitt or Tom Cruise or something.
it was quite embarrassing because the chat wasn't until I think midnight for us in the UK, and it was a Saturday night. And honestly, I hardly ever drink alcohol, but I decided I would have a glass, which ended up being 2 glasses before we started. And oh, I
There we go.
cringe now. Because
That's
I
how you got
wanted
to
to
do
know
it.
I wanted to know if he had anything to do with Wales, because his name is so Welsh, you see, and he does. He has
Mhm.
connections to Wales. So to me, that was it then. So, but I can't think of another company with a community where, you know, like the chief execs speak to us, you know, and
It's
they get
ridiculous.
involved, and it just
Yeah,
totally against the grain, isn't it? It's
it
just,
is. And it's mind-boggling to me sometimes because I'm like, you could go out and hire like a professional YouTuber or like, massive marketing people and just kind of forget about the little guys. But I feel like that's also why the community is so strong, is because we know that they're actually paying attention and they're with us. Like it doesn't feel like it's some elusive character out in the sky. It's like feels like, wow, like I feel like I'm almost here with Dan, I'm here with Reese, I'm here with David. Like that's how engaged it feels. Like David's like personally messaging people on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Instagram. It's just yeah,
Yeah.
it just blows your mind. And I
Yeah.
I think fair play to them that they appreciate the community so much that they have that time to give us and
Right.
spend with us. But I'll let you into something funny that happened last night. There was the AMA Discord chat, and I thought it was going to start at midnight, but it was 1 a.m. So after I realised, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to go to bed. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and it charges next to the bed. So me and my husband are fast asleep, and he shouts at me saying, "Who the hell's in the house?" And it was Chris on Discord. Honestly, we were like, "Who the hell is it?" And I thought I recognise that voice,
You're
but
like,
then it dawned on me, even though my phone was on total sort of do not disturb, the Discord chat, and all I could hear was Trace going, "Have we reached 100 yet? Have we reached one?" It's
oh my
like
gosh.
1 in the morning, and he just goes, "Is that Phoebe again?" I was like, "Oh my."
It's Reese. He's got the Wales connections. Yeah.
It scared the living hell out.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good, I'm sure he would appreciate that story. I feel like he would like that a lot. And how did you get into like the moderating aspect of it all on Facebook? Because I know like that's how we connected. I posted something and you were like, "Hey, like love this, let's talk." And so I was like, "Man, Claire!" Like, and I remembered you from the interview with Reese, and I knew you were connected to Mark, and I was like, "Man, I've got to get her on the show." But how did you get into the Facebook side of it?
I think it was just a matter of when I Google, when you go into your Facebook, and I just searched VV, and
Mm.
then I think I was just a very active member of the team. And then I ended up sort of messaging the admin, and I think at the time they were looking for escrows and stuff like that. And I said, "Oh, I don't mind helping if it'll help the community out."
Whoa.
But he then had a chat with the admins that were already there, and they asked me and Jordan, who's also from England, to join at the same time. So we're kind of like covering all aspects of the world between us, sort of thing. So it's
That's
quite,
cool.
it is. And I don't know, it just everything, the world feels a lot smaller because of Evie for me. That's the only way I can
Yeah.
describe it. It's easy to forget what Vivi can do. It's not just money making. It's not about buying something in the hope that it's going to be worth more money in the future.
Yeah.
It's about that connection you do have with people, and you know, it's mostly positive. You're going to get a few people that don't like everything, but that's natural, isn't it? But on the whole, everybody's so helpful and happy for
100%.
each other. Definitely. And I mean, in my day job, I'm a social worker, and because of COVID, we can't take toys to play with the kids anymore to try and interact with them. And I found myself using like VV as a way to interact with them, because
Wow.
and it was I don't know if you've seen Mr. Falcon, I think his name is. He's on Twitter, and he did this picture where he said that as a teacher he showed this sort of invisible kind of monster in the classroom, and it was the Jersey Devil. So when he took the
Uh-huh.
picture, he knew that it
Oh,
was in
that's
the room.
cool.
And half the kids were petrified, apparently. So
True, because they wouldn't see it. Yeah, that's so funny. Good. And but how cool is that? Like, look at these things. Like, I bet you Comey never even knew about stuff like this. Like to think that you use that as it's social working as a great way to connect with people, for them to like be fascinated about that. Like the use case in this early time is still so amazing. So like, wow, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that, Claire.
Yeah, I think it's because of the type of work I have to do, we have to try and build a relationship quite quickly. And it's just one tool that I've been able to utilize during COVID because my usual bag of tricks is out of bounds because of kind of everything that goes with keeping everything COVID secure, sort of thing. And, it's just, and I think it's different, and people don't need to understand what an NFT is. All a child wants to know is, wow, you've got that princess stood next to me, and
True.
but we have to delete the pictures and all of that. But
Mhm.
it's just for that moment in time you can share that picture and you've deleted it. But it's just that interaction that you have to
It's
kind of engage them.
I love that.
But
And and that's what's interesting, because like I keep having conversations with people about, the VV NFTs being digital assets and ways to store value. And but then VV keeps making higher editions, and a lot of people are actually upset with it, because they're saying, there's too many editions printed, and they're sometimes going, at a discount. But at the same time, like, how cool is it to think that, like, in this case, in terms of social work, or in terms of somebody with, like, a lower amount of money, they could still buy an NFT and use it. I just love that. Like, I think these are the stories that, like, Vivi needs to hear, to know that a lot of these things are happening behind the scenes.
and I think what really struck me is when we were doing sort of out of, I know Vivi don't approve, but we were getting people basically from the Philippines to buy the regional locked, and they would do that for an extra one or two gem for us, so you would trust them, give them the gems, they'd buy them, and they would make a few gems out of it. And I was speaking to one of them, and it was like a reality check of, he said, yeah, but what you've got to understand is 5 gems is a week's worth of meals for us as a family, whereas that's a snack for us. And
Wow.
that's a McDonald's, isn't it? So it kind of brought home to me how it can genuinely change people's lives as well. And then they were transferring the gems into USDT
Yeah.
and being able to buy chickens and land and stuff. And it's just blows your mind how different their lives were
Right. Right.
because of that. And I think that struck home to me why people might sell at what we would perceive a lower price, but to them, it's a lot.
Wow. I
So,
love that point you make, because, like, you and I are after all these really rare collectibles, completing sets. And, often in the marketplace, if I see something that's bought up for 45 gens and then flipped for 55, I laugh, because I'm like, it's not worth our time. But like you said, if that's a week's salary of food somewhere else, right? Like, or even a day, right? Like, that's just so
yeah,
fascinating. Yeah.
it made me look at it differently. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think there are a lot of flippers because they've come from the crypto world. But I spoke to somebody and he says, listen, I've got to sell it at cost because I've actually bought one that's a lower mint. So I need to try and get some money back on my higher purchase, which,
Mm-hmm.
I can understand. And, you know, I'm sure we're all stuck with a load of DeLoreans. I know I've got more than I would probably need.
Yeah. 171 of your 172 collectibles. Yeah.
The rest are unicorns or fish ponies, but
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
but
So, so what is your most prized collectible, you would say? Like, which one do you like the most, or hold close to your chest?
right, I would say Starfire. I love her,
So
but
cool.
B, I don't know if you're aware, but I actually sold my Louis Vuitton vintage handbag to buy a Starfire.
Oh my gosh. The mic is right here now. That is so crazy. What?
Yeah. I didn't make a loss on my handbag, but
Yeah.
I was buying vintage Louis Vuittons and stuff as an
Cool.
investment. And I kind of look at my handbags now and think, do you know what? How many of these do I need to get rid of for a Rizzo? And then I have to say, no, 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 you can't go all in.
See, I wish my fiance had this mentality because I'm doing the opposite. She's like, "When can I sell your Skyfire for a Louis Vuitton handbag?" And I'm like, I'm gonna make sure she sees this interview.
Definitely. Or you could have sold your Starfire for a Louis Vuitton.
Exactly. We should have just done a trade. I should have just called you and like, okay, you send me your handbag, I'll send you the Starfire. Except, yeah.
Yeah, because I joked about it. I said, all right, okay, so if we're going handbags, your Rizzo would be a vintage Chanel. And then, the ultra rare HQ would have to be a Hermes, So if we're going
Exactly.
handbags, and yeah, anyway, there'll never be a Mowgli. So
No, unless you get 3 or 4. Yeah.
I'd have to sell the whole collection.
Exactly.
Did
That's
you see
cool.
somebody put on Twitter that you could donate a testicle for $35,000? And they were saying, I wonder how many NFTs I'd get for
If that's the case, I'll donate too.
Your husband thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just stack up on 10 Harley Quinn 19s. That would be the. What did you trade for that? You don't want to know.
As you're walking like a cowboy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Chad, how come you never had kids? Check this NFT out.
Probably be cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's crazy. And that goes to show you like what people are willing to spend to get some of these NFTs. And Starfire, the fact that it's a textured animation, it's such a rare, like, what is it, 1048 or 1054 editions. It's a first appearance. It's like one of the first released on the app. It was through beta. So that thing's going to be a ton like in the future. And it completes the set by itself. So it's gorgeous,
And then you've got, because I bought Big Barda as well, and then
Oh,
she's kind
nice.
of your first coloured
Yeah.
collectible.
And I never took that in. Like I was I was just thinking about Starfire being the first textured animation, and everyone's like, "But Big Barda's the first colored, bro." And I was like, "Man, that's such a big deal." Like those two are going to be. I don't even want to know what they're going to be worth in the future, but they'll be a big deal.
And because half of me hopes that as that have collected sets are going to be recognized for the master collector, it was like 2 sets on 2 figurines. It kind of sealed the deal for me. It was, oh, I've got to, but I think it was also being drawn to the female kind of collectible element of it as well. But I would say she's probably my favorite. But Ritmo, you see, I am the luckiest person on this planet because somebody traded their Ritmo for a full set of Myrmicornos with me. And I remember
Whoa.
thinking at the time, wow, this is like 11, 11 unicorns for one sort of thing. But
Wow.
because they knew, I will always cherish it. It's not for me to put it straight in the market or anything like that. And that is definitely up there as one of my favorites as well. And the fact that they then animated him just sent it to another level again,
Oh yeah.
So
There's a ton of hype about Ritmo right now because we got Veve Flipper. I think it's one of his favorite because he talks about it being a pet, and it's probably the most.
Does he?
Yeah, and he thinks like in the Veve verse, this will be the most like rare pet, and then the Gale. I don't know if you've heard about some of the jokes with the glasses on the Ritmo with the accessories.
I did one for, yeah.
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 And then now there's a lot, and it's the first animated. So I think that one's going to be huge too. There's a lot of hype on that one.
And I was laughing last night because Johnny put his, the NFT remix, and
Oh
as
yeah.
he's got it on, Ritmo's dancing, almost going to the tune next to him, and it was
Yeah.
like, oh, Ritmo's getting in on the action here, and it was just so cool. It just sent
Yeah.
it to another level.
I forgot about
But
that too. Johnny Dunn, like you're right, was like, yo, Ritmo's one of the coolest. He's like, I think he has 2 or 3 of them. Like he's got
does he?
everything. Yeah, he's. I was like looking at his collection. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna take off. I'm
I
tired of this.
salivate at his.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Definitely, but oh no, he's somebody that I follow as well, and
yeah.
I
He's
love the
good.
interview you both had. It was just
It's
proper
fun.
banter flowed. It was,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
funny. Like,
I like the Gale one as well because
yeah, the Gale,
he
eh?
he came out and showed himself for the first time to you. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, we were making a
Trying
joke out of it. First appearance of the Gale, like FA. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
me now as well.
Yeah,
I
and
never.
all of you have big collections. Like the Gale is probably at 250 plus. I think Johnny's probably over 200. You've got like almost 180. So, these are these are serious collections. Like these are no jokes here, Like this is like people are serious.
Yeah, I think because even when I look at my app and I know it's only retail that they give you like the value, and I don't hold any kind of, I don't know how they work it out, but it's just saying that my collectibles are worth 5 grand in gems at the moment. So that's like,
Wow. But it's really worth
wow,
probably 10x
it's
that.
more than that. I
That's what I
paid more
mean.
than that. I
Yeah.
know I paid more than that. So
Yeah.
in fact, I don't want to sit down and work out how much I've spent because it'd probably make me ill. But
Same here. Yeah.
it's like, I'm not going to participate in the next drop. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. My problem is when I want something that's super rare, I'll have like, let's just say 1,000 gems and let's say it's 1,500. And I'm like, oh, well, I could just throw 600, 700 on my credit card. And you know what I mean? And then I'm like, wait a second. That's also like an airplane to like Cuba. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
It's just, it's like common sense goes out the window.
it does. I'm like, oh, I've only got a
It's
few thousand gems to spend right now. And I'm like, wait a second, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
because when the kind of the prices were super, super low for that 1 week, somebody was offering a Rizzo for 1.6, and I was like, ugh!
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I
and
would have snapped on that.
and me, but my ETH and everything else had plummeted to such a point I couldn't get any USD out without it killing me. So
True.
it probably cost me 3 grand anyway,
Because everything was down. Yeah, exactly. So if you're trying to sell something, that's a good point.
they were going to buy the dip and I'd have to sell the dip. So I just
Yeah.
couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't. So, but that'll be another regret moving forward that you just think, oh, to think I was that close.
I feel like we should like what I'm learning is just keep buying, like, and then I'll never have regret because I'm like every time I don't buy something, I'm just like, damn, like that was an opportunity. Like I almost had a Rizzo mint number 123 in an auction, and
Wow.
yeah, and I just like let it go because I currently have a Rizzo 278, and I was gonna just like sell that off and then just pay for the upgrade to the 123. But like I was so worried about not being able to sell my current Rizzo because that was when the market took a dip. So I'm like, I don't want to get just like 2.1K for that or 3K and then have to spend like an extra $600-700 to upgrade. But now I'm like, I should have done it.
Yeah, and I've got collectibles where I've got duplicates where I could sell, and I could think, do you know what? I could sell XYZ and I could probably get myself a Rizzo on the market. But psychologically, I can't put them at the.
Yeah, it's too difficult.
I'm too attached. And, I've got an excuse to keep almost all of them. Or I put them up for sale at such a price I know nobody's going to pay. But if they do, I would let them go at that price.
Yeah,
I'm not
1.6 million.
I'm not them.
You're
I'm not that. I'm not that unrealistic, but when you've got a Dulce up for like 200 gems or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hear you. But that's the way to do it. Like, and I'll be honest, I sold a lot of my stuff to upgrade to other things. And it actually like hurts me because like I was like, you know, had a few Nightwings that I was like a big fan of, like some, especially some specific mints. And I don't know what it is. Like I used to have like 4 or 5 Nightwings, and then I kind of traded things around. I used to have a ton more Todds, but then I was like, well, I need to like diversify. But now I'm kind of like, oh, I miss those. I miss them. You know what I mean? Even though I got new ones, it's like I wish I had them all.
Yeah, I mean, I remember wanting to buy Todd when he was in the store, and my husband put his foot down and said, "You're not buying anymore." And it's probably the one time I've listened to him, but I'm
Yeah.
but again, I was just so lucky. We had the Ultraman drop, and
Mm.
somebody swapped my Ultraman 7 for a Todd. So I kind of got Todd cheaper because,
Oh my God, that's unreal.
I know, but I don't think anybody anticipated Ultraman price to be
I
at where
know.
it is now. I know I didn't. I'm quite shocked. And,
Same.
is it VV Master? He must have, what does he call it? Have you seen his Ultraman orphanage?
No, what? Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's yeah, I know which guy you're talking about. Yeah, it's like a
He's got,
thousand
he got
Ultramans in this circle or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he put them all in lines in his showroom and called
yeah.
it the Ultraman storage, and it was like,
That's crazy. But that one was
but
nuts because I remember like what I think happened there is when people were getting the Ultraman Aces, they were paying 750 to 1200 bucks. I literally saw all these things happening.
I
And
paid
then
600 for one.
see, yeah, and I had a feeling, so I kind of laid low for a bit because I didn't get one on the drop. But then now it's like what? It's like 180 gems. I've seen floor price for an ace. That's crazy, right?
So I bought one. I got one in the drop, and I
Yeah.
bought one for, I think it was 650 gems afterwards, because I wanted two sets for some bizarre reason. So I went for two sets. Then I ended up swapping Ace for something else. I don't even remember what now, but I came up trumps. I got something that was worth the 650 at the time. And then I bought one only a couple of weeks ago for 150 in the marketplace. And I was like, this isn't normal. It's
That's
like,
scary.
I
Yeah.
know, I just literally snapped it up. But I haven't been fortunate to get these that people have listed wrong prices. Instead of putting 1,000, they put 100 and stuff like that. And I haven't been.
Same. I've never seen that yet. Like I know some people that like I remember one person, I think I saw it in your Facebook group. They had like a robin, they got a robin for like a gem,
I
one gem.
know.
And I was
Just
imagine. Oh
instead
my
of one
God. You can sell it
grand or
for two
something.
gems and still make money, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'd be pig sick.
I know.
But
So that's yeah. So Claire, one thing, another question I have for you is like, you know, are you seeing a lot of like younger people interested in this from the Facebook group, or do you think it's more like people like from 18 to like, you know, kind of in their like late 40s, 50s? Because from my YouTube analytics, most of the people that are watching our show are from like late 20s to like in their early 50s. So it seems like almost like investor slash crypto kind of thing. But I'm just wondering if you see younger people in it.
I see younger people, however, I see them more as the buyers and sellers and the students out to make a quick buck,
Interesting.
rather that, they're more likely to sell of what I can see, and they're the ones that you can normally buy gems off and stuff like that. So I think they don't look at the long term in the same way perhaps the older collectors do.
Right.
So
It is interesting because it's the Wild West in a way, right? And like that's why I think like that's why I wanted to have you on too, is because there's like obviously an economy that's coming out of VV that's starting to build, and it's becoming like so people can understand what is equivocal value when they're trading, or what's a smart trade compared to not a smart trade. And like, you know, these are things that I'm really hopeful that are going to be like implemented in the long run, because I've seen when we came onto the app, I saw too many people like trading things that weren't like equivocal value. Like I remember before Todd even sold out, I traded a Todd for a big Barda. And I was like, and then I just went and bought another one for 89 gems when this person could have literally sold it for $1,000 at the time. and then bought 10 Todds. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't know if you remember, there was this massive drive, and I think this is kind of light bulb moment for me as well, where there was this group set up where they said, right, we're going to set a floor value of 10 grand on Todd. And they did the same for the FA Joker.
I saw
And
that.
it was almost like a pack that you would be shunned from the community if you were to sell for less. Anyway, it didn't last, did it? You know, we're back to 300 and 100 gems.
I know. Yeah. I remember those.
But
Yeah.
it made me realize how people can manipulate the market.
Hmm.
And there was this one guy, apparently I didn't come across him, but he was buying every Marceline that was under 500 gems. And I mean, like proper buying them, because he wanted to set the floor value at above
I remember that.
500.
I saw
And I
that
think
with
he had
Mare
hundreds of
too.
them. Did they?
Wow.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you just think, how much money do you need to just bang, bang, bang like that, you know?
And look where
It's
the
like,
floor is now. It's like 400. So
he's oversold it.
I mean, he's down $100 in each one, right? That's the risk of that stuff. Like that's, obviously long run for sure, but that's super interesting because, I remember talking to somebody about like, that's why I like low additions is because like it's easier to kind of set a price because like there's fewer people actually selling something. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like the one thing that I do worry about is like, let's say everyone just did spend, or like, let's say the floor was 10K for Todd. If like one whale comes in and sells like 200 Todds for 500 gems, then it's just going to kill everybody else. And then it's going to
Yeah.
reset. So I feel like it's benefiting fewer people as like, like I think there should always be a floor in a sense that's for cheaper. People want to just sell things off.
And I think to me, I like higher editions. Yeah, so when I see higher editions, I think, oh, do you know what? I've got a chance maybe of getting this set. So when I saw Cover Girls, for instance, I thought, all right, okay, there's more chance of actually getting a Supergirl compared to the Dragon Girl.
Right.
And then I think people are sleeping on today's drop because there's hardly any difference in the mints of the rare compared to the ultra rare. I
It's
mean, like it's like
true.
300, isn't it? You know, something like that. So the rare is actually up a level in my mind, and I think the B looks better in my mind, but that's just
That's a great point.
personal.
That's a sleeper because it's a super popular. I mean, if it's taken from what the Honey Nut Cheerios as well, right? So it's kind of like it's a very popular brand of cereal. And like 2,222, right, is how many editions it was. And like, what is the common in the Harley Quinn set? 2,500 or 2,400? And that goes for like 400 gems. So you're right. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a sleeper, and especially because there's usually such a big gap. There's usually 1,000 editions between the ultra rare and the rare, and
Right.
yet it was 222 and I think 1.8 or something like that. So after you take the 40s out, that there wasn't much difference between the two. And I remember thinking people are sleeping on the price of this. And
Yeah.
I was actually shocked to get a count for 265 gems because I honestly thought it was going to set the floor at 600
I thought so
because
too. Yeah. I think it's
I,
because it's such a niche brand within already a niche NFT market. It's kind of like, and even though Ron English is wildly popular and infamous, I think it's just potentially like fewer people would want maybe some more of these like artist collectibles rather than like a DC. I don't know, but I was surprised by the floor as well.
and then I don't know, half of me thinks, what if the only way you can get this super rare that David speaks about is if you got all the sets, it gives you like the golden ticket.
True.
Because
Yeah.
if you've invested in the whole set, the likelihood of you keeping the secret rare is going to be far higher
Mm.
than somebody that's just flipped them.
And that's super crazy because I feel like what you're saying makes good sense, and they should do that because we have a lot of these people coming out just for drops and then they flip them right away and they don't hold on. But now it's like, well, unless you spent $1,000 on actually holding this set, you're not going to have a chance of getting the secret rare. And then it would make it more available for people that actually want it. you know, because it would suck, like you said, if you spent all that money in the set, then the secret rare comes up, it's like 800 editions, you go for it, you can't get it, and you're like, well, I'm not going to spend $1,000 to get it now, right? So like, I think that's really smart, Claire. I think they should do that.
I do, but not tell anybody until the last set's been dropped.
Yeah, exactly.
so they can't reverse. They
Yeah,
can't go out and buy it. You have to have held it for a certain length of time or something like
I
that.
like
Because,
that. 2 weeks minimum.
because they know. Because I remember thinking, please don't share with my husband, when Trish said we know how long people spend in the app, and I was like, oh, that kind of thing that could cause arguments in our house.
21 hours a day of screen time. Yeah, exactly. I know, it's true.
So funny. But it was so funny though, because my son was having his prom the other day, and I took a picture of him with the Veve, and I just thought about it, you know, the Veve capturing those special moments in your life. I remember laughing to myself and thinking, thank God I got married 11 years ago, because my guest list would have been so different. You know, I'd have been asking people, you can come if you've got a Rizzo.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine
I could have made it.
Your wedding list, you know.
Yeah.
I want gems.
Yeah. See, it's funny you say that, because I'm getting married this summer. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you've got to have the photographers taking the professional photos, and you've got to have a friend taking them with Marshmallow Man involved, or you know, the bride next to Rizzo. You know, just
buy me an
me.
NFT. Yeah, and if you think about it, everybody that comes to your wedding, if you have 200 guests, each one has to buy you an NFT. Then I become a master collector overnight. See,
or a minimum gem value, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, $50 entry minimum. Yeah. Well,
but I'm sure there will be sort of Veve weddings and Veve christenings.
They have the Harry Potter weddings already, and like, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Give it 10 years. Well, and we'll be, you know, you'll be getting married in the Veveverse. You'll have an artificial intelligence wedding.
I'll be renewing my vows.
Yeah, exactly. Some people will be getting married to their collectibles. They'll be like, I'm getting married to an animated. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I do. Imagine what it'll be worth by then.
Oh yeah, people would do it. 100,000 for sure.
I know, but can you imagine sort of like in 10 years, we'll be looking at Todd and he'll be like, is that all he did?
Yeah, just...
Yeah. Wow, you spent hours playing with Todd. Look what he does now. I mean, he's fully talking to you.
Right. And I think it's true. Like you'd be able to have Todd as a hologram, right? And like, you know, flying away or like on his motorcycle, but
it'll just be nuts, won't it?
Exactly. But I think it'll just have that historical element where people will be like, wow, like I can't believe, you know, that was the thing back in the day, you know? Be pretty neat.
And I think we forget sometimes just how early we are in this journey. And it's not until you start looking back to the first day you entered the app, and the experience we had is going to be so different to new users now.
Right.
And, you know, what would they give to be where we were? You know?
I think you're right. I think people would have paid hundreds of thousands potentially in 4 or 5 years from now to be where we are now with this opportunity, you know, like with especially when you and I joined the app, like back when you could buy Rizzo for 100 gems or something, right? Like people would have paid like so much to be in that spot.
Somebody showed how they sold a Rizzo for 120 gems and was impressed because they doubled their money, you know. That's a memory they've got. So if we've got buyer's regret, I bet he's got seller's regret. You know?
Exactly. Because I know I would have spent $5,000 and I would have bought 50 from him at that point. You know what I mean? So
I'm so jealous of people that have these lines of Rizzos in the showrooms. I'm like, oh, what I would do just for one of them.
I totally agree. I've got a fascination for his Infernal Majesty. I've been wanting one of those since I got on the app, and it's just always been too expensive because it's like 4 to 5K minimum, right? But I'm like, man, what I would do for one of those now, like crazy.
Yeah. I think if I could afford to get him, I like him. There's something about him that I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but there's just something comical about him.
Just so unique. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I know that the Powerpuff 2 series it doesn't even show up on my phone. It's because I haven't got a single collectible. It
Oh, I
doesn't come
see.
up as my sets. So I
Yeah.
don't have to, it doesn't exist in my mind.
It's probably the better way to look at it because I think it's like a minimum entry point of like 40 grand. So, you know,
But is Bubbles more expensive than the
professor.
Professor, which
Yeah.
makes no sense at all,
And that's
really?
why for me, I've been stacking up on professor because I'm looking at that and I'm looking at like, you know, Harley Quinn 19 is 500 editions and it goes for 700 or 7 grand, and professor is 450 editions. So it's 50 fewer and it goes for like 1.5 grand. Right. So I'm like, wow, like this is potentially a huge opportunity that people are overlooking.
I think it'll be interesting listening to these interviews again in 6 months and think, oh, why didn't
We
we
were
buy
right.
that?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember that Dragon Girl was only 1.7 grand? Look at it now.
Yeah. 10 grand or who knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of happy that I haven't bought her. I'm just kind of at that
Yeah.
stage where I'm not going to chase her because,
It's a lot,
yeah,
it's a big entry.
it's a big entry and we don't know what's coming next, do we? And is Jurassic Park, imagine if they talk, if they roar or if they move and
Right.
roar and, I mean,
Yeah.
Slimer, he's just, oh, another level, isn't he?
It looks amazing.
So,
Yeah. The
and
translucence aspect of it is so cool.
and the smoking coming off him.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. So fingers
Yeah.
crossed
Right here.
that there's enough editions for us to have a Slimer
I hope so too.
because it'll be a good one for the future. But I'm not, I'm crossing everything for the ghost trap. But I think there's only 1,700 some editions up for grabs, isn't there? So
So few.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
we shall
that's
wait and see.
exactly. Well, Glenn, Claire, honestly, pleasure to
Oh,
have you
sorry.
on.
Yeah, no, yeah, and you as well. And thanks for having me all
Yeah,
the
it
way
was a
to
lot of fun.
Wales.
I think I gotta have a beer next time that we're talking because I feel like there's too many good jokes to discuss and awesome Twitter things that have happened. So it was fun. It was fun
Oh,
chatting with you.
definitely. Yeah, no, we will, and we'll have to do something again, definitely. So,
Yeah, it'd be so cool to have all the VV people in person somewhere, like New Zealand or Singapore, like 300-400 of us meet up. You know what I mean? Like get
oh,
connected.
because we keep saying that we're going to do a VVCom,
We should. That'd be so
like
cool.
in Vegas or something like that. We'll all wait until the bull run. We kind of said if Omi gets to a certain price, then we're all meeting.
I heard about that, 50 cents or something. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, I'm
that's kind of
down.
my ticket
My thing's like
to
once
go.
Rizzo gets to 50K, then I'm going. Yeah.
How many do you have of Rizzo's then?
I just have one right now, but I've got three professors and I've got like a few like I've got a lot of the OG stuff, but I'd like to get another Rizzo, but I think it's a lot of money. I don't want, another 3K is no joke.
I think with me, if I only have one of something, like I've only got one Starfire, one Big Bad, then it won't matter
Yeah.
how much she would sell for. I just
Yeah.
couldn't. So I'd have to, and even if I had two Rizzos and they were 50 grand, I'd probably struggle.
Yeah, it's true. That's like
Because
me. Like, you just don't want to sell it. You know what I mean? Even for 50K, it'd be like, I don't know. I think it's going to go
it might be
higher.
60 next week.
Yeah, exactly. It would never end, I feel like, yeah.
Can you imagine the prices at the end of the bull run?
Imagine prices the next bull run, right? Like, that's where my head's at. Like, yeah,
And me, actually, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And we're going to have the first lots of the first season.
Well, yeah,
Still.
like I look at CryptoPunks like 2017 when it was the last bull run, and then now's the next one, and look at that price. So I'm kind of like, there'll probably be a similar kind of thing with VV. In 3 years from now, imagine like they'll probably be on the Ethereum like blockchain on OpenSea.io. There'll probably be like all these different things in its favor. So that's why for me, I'm like, oh, 3 years from now it might be big.
an alien CryptoPunk sold in Sotheby's in London today for 10.5 million or something like that. So there's hope for us, yeah.
I would definitely sell my Rizzo at that point.
Yeah. I might even sell the whole collection at that point.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
Start
sure.
again.
If I can be in Fiji, if I can live in Fiji Islands for the next like 35 years, I would do it, you know? Come on.
Retire on Veve.
Yeah, exactly. How did you make it, man? Ever heard of Rizzo? Yeah.
How cool would it be, though?
Oh, yeah. Possible.
Possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you go, but
all right,
lovely
thanks,
chatting to you.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, eh?
Oh, thank you for having me. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
now.